More than 300 Sewage and Water Board employees were at their posts when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans on August 29, 2005. And they stayed through the catastrophic flooding that engulfed 80% of New Orleans after the levees broke. These dedicated and heroic employees were first responders providing critical emergency sewerage and water board system restorations, while in many instances fighting for their own survival and the survival of others. Their valiant efforts must not be forgotten but preserved for austerity as a testament to the courage, tenacity, and dedication of these employees in the face of overwhelming odds. Katrina, state your name and position for the camera, please.
Kevin Collins, pumping plant operator.
How do you feel about the coming 10th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina?
Well, it brings back memories. We have memories of things, catastrophic events we went through during the hurricane.
What happened on August 29th, 2005?
Well, we experienced a horrible, terrible storm like never before. You know, we've worked here many years. I've worked here many years, and this one was different.
Where were you stationed?
Station 5 in Lower Ninth Ward.
What did you think when the water started flooding the station?
I was thinking when that water burst through the station, I was just, like I said, I was thinking about the people in the Ninth Ward, because I saw it was coming in the station and going out of the station, all of it rushing through the Ninth Ward, running in. I said, these people, I was thinking, these people, houses got to be covered. I think about the people in the Lower Ninth Ward.
At what point did you begin to fear for your life, if at all?
We feared when the water came in the station, when the station became inundated with water. To be honest with you, everybody was afraid at some point. Some may say they weren't or whatever, but everybody pretty much was afraid, you know, it's natural.
Did you think it was time to pray?
I'm always praying, God first all the time. I always say that, you know, like I said, through the faith in God, we did, you know, survive the faith in God.
What was the conversation like among your coworkers when you saw the water coming into the station?
Like I said, we were in a panic mode because at the time it happened, it was approximately 6:10 in the morning, and the supervisor called us on the phone and told us what the suction was. At the time, we didn't know that the levee had breached or whatever. There was a breach in the levee in the Ninth Ward, and he told me to go check the suction. I was the operator on duty at the time, so I called the guys, checked the staff gauge. He saw that the needle was bent over the staff gauge. Couldn't even go any further. It was broken over. Like he said, well, y'all get out of there. Supervisor telling us, well, y'all get out of that station, shut those pumps down. So we getting panic mode. We know what's happening. So we go to the front door of the station. We see the water start coming in the yard. I said, water coming in the yard. We notice water coming in the yard. Next thing is coming around the back of the station and everything. Next thing is in the station, up to our knees and everything in water, you know.
You were told to shut the pump down and get out. How did you accomplish that?
We survived, but like I say, by the grace of God, we did survive, because there was a boat that came to the front of the station. One of the guys, during the course of the mayhem, he said, I think he said, I wish we had a boat. Like 5 or 10 minutes later, he walked to the front of the station. Noticed there was a boat right there in front of the station, like a fishing boat right in the front. I don't know where, nobody knew where it came from. I said, God made a way. That's how we used that boat. They used that boat the next day. We used it the next day to pedal to the flood wall. And once we got to the flood wall, we were able to get across that bridge over there, the Ninth Ward, the Blue Bridge. We were able to get across there. And all kind of debris and everything on that bridge. But we were able to maneuver our little way across there and make it to the station that was right next to Station 19. But they kind of pretty much experienced chaos too over there, because like I said, when the hurricane came, the water was flooding everywhere. We had inundation everywhere, flooding everywhere. So it was chaotic over there too. But the thing about Station 19 at the time, they had a generator building. The generator building that's where you can supply power to the pumping station. So they had power. They were able to start the generators up and send power to the station, the pumping station. So they were able to have lights and everything over there. As far as Station 5 where we were, we caught the worst of it during the hurricane itself. We caught the brunt of the storm and everything at the time of the hurricane. The actual hurricane, the day of the hurricane.
You caught the brunt of it?
Yeah, we caught everything. We didn't have any lights or anything. We slept overnight over there and everything. And I was able to make it to the attic. There's an attic, a portion above the office. It's a little attic up there. I knew there was an opening up there. I never really knew what it was, but I found out what it was.
You found out?
What it was, because I was able to, during the night, I was able to maneuver my way over and climb up and cross and get into the attic. You may have heard the story about the guy in the attic. I'm the guy in in the Raptors or whatever, the store that he got going around or whatever.
How high did the water get in the station?
The station where the pumps are, that was totally inundated, flooded with water. The pumps were covered with water. But there's two sides to the pumping station. There's the generator side where the electrical equipment is, and the pumps side where the pumps are. Where the pump side where the electrical equipment is, that was halfway. That wasn't totally submerged. But the section where the pumps are, the drainage pumps are, actually they sit lower in that part section of the station, and that part was totally covered.
So how high was the water there, you think?
Like I said, that water was, it had, those pumps were underwater. I mean, it was totally submerged. That pumping area where the pumps are, it was totally submerged. The water was high. So it was high.
Would you describe the efforts of the Sewage and Water Board employees as heroic? Tell me about that.
We got a lot of guys. It was a lot. We took the collective effort. It had a lot of guys with the different abilities and capabilities and skills. We had electricians. You know, they had certain skills and abilities. They were all able to put it together and work together for survival. These guys had guys doing heroic acts. We had a guy, one of my coworkers named Tyrone Young. He did a heroic acts that you never heard about.
What did he do?
He did things, different heroic acts he would do. Like at one point in like the water, there's a section of the station where there's a what do they call that? A section where we have filters. We need for the running generators. Mm-hmm. There's a filters. We need to open those filters, valves for those filters, so we can have power to the main building. And that was critical. That was a critical thing we needed to get done. But that driveway was flooded with water. And we needed to get those valves open. So he was able to get down there, climb down on the ladder, get down there, and open the valves. You know, he had different guys who, like I said, were doing heroic things. We had diesel mechanics who would come over, like in the middle of the night during this hurricane, like 2 o'clock in the morning. No security, no police force, pitch black dark, the city. He's coming way to the generator house from way out in New Orleans East to bring fuel for the diesel generators so they could continue operating or whatever. We had problems with troubleshooting or whatever. He had expertise to fix these things, so we needed him. He would come out 2 in the morning, this guy coming at his risk, risking his safety and his life. You know, these people, it's untold stories.
It seems that the most critical action was that of Tyrone Young. Can you describe what he did?
We have a generator house. Mm-hmm. The way these generators operate, they need to be cooled. They need water supplied to cool them where they won't overheat. Well, we have a raw water system, pumping system for the water board. And during the hurricane, we start these raw water pumps up, and we need to open these valves. But because of the way position that the valves were, where they were located in the driveway, and all of that section was underwater. It was submerged with water at Station 19, where he told me, well, Kevin, hold a ladder. They needed to get down there. Somebody needed to get down there and open those valves. And I actually saw a snake in that water. I think we seen snake, water moccasin. We saw a snake in there, because that could have been hazardous for him. He actually got down on the ladder and waded through that water and opened those valves. You know, one guy went down and he told me, he asked me to hold a ladder. He took the courageous effort to go down and open the valves up. And like I said, with other guys also, like I said, diesel mechanics, electricians, with their ingenuity, knowledge of electronics, electricity, it was chaotic, and thank God we survived. We were able to survive.
How important were the efforts of the Sewage and Water Board in getting the city back up and running?
Critically important. We pretty much drained, I believe we pretty much drained the whole city pretty much. They had people coming, like I said, different organizations coming in the city offering help and support. But it really was the city itself, the drainage pumping stations themselves. Because we had one pump that we were able to keep running, and keep running, and you know, we MacGyvered it or whatever, but we were able to keep it running. One pump, each station they say they had, I talked to that operator, another station, he said they had one pump. So it was pretty much like one pump at each station, constantly pumping water, all morning and night, constantly pumping. So we pretty much the sewage and water we drained the water ourselves, really. But these other organizations did come, but they were like their help, but they really didn't have the knowledge and understanding of pumping stations, draining pumping stations and everything, you know, what to do.
Well, there's no one else like you in the world. So thank you, my brother, and have a nice day. The flooding of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina was the most devastating disaster to hit any U.S. city. When most of the city was evacuating, some 300 Sewage and Water Board employees stayed on the job, facing great personal peril to respond to this devastating crisis. We salute our Katrina heroes who met the greatest challenge of their lives and found a way to rise above the storm and overcome the impact of Hurricane Katrina. The board's forces dewatered the city in 11 days after the breaches were closed and began to restore quality of life, services of water, sewer, and drainage to the city. It was the restoration of these services that made it possible for citizens to return. It was the restoration of these services that made it possible for progress to begin, going from devastation to recovery, restoration, and today, rebuilding of the most complex infrastructure in the country. Today, confidence in the Sewage and Water Board's management and fiscal responsibility has resulted in the first water and sewer rate increases since the 1990s. These increases will be the building blocks for the development and the continuous rebuilding of the board's systems in the future.